A report has come out showing that even behind closed doors, Joe Biden is planning on running for re-election in 2024. So first off, I'll just say that I still am sick, and so my voice sounds weird. Just gonna say that up front. But this story today is super interesting because Joe Biden was saying every single time he was asked, yes, I'm definitely running for re-election in 2024. At least that's the plan, is how he would state it. But I thought that, okay, he's gonna do that so he doesn't lose all of his political leverage. But probably he's considering behind closed doors not running. I mean, his age, low approval rating, whatever. But I might have been wrong, because it looks like even in private, he's very confident that he will be running in 2024 and feels like he's the only person who can beat Donald Trump. So let's just jump right into that article, and then I have a lot of thoughts. Reading from The Hill, President Biden has told former President Obama that he is planning to run for re-election in 2024, two sources tell The Hill. The admission to Obama is the latest indication that Biden is likely to run for a second term, something the president has spoken about publicly. Quote, Biden wants to run and he's clearly letting everyone know, said one of the two sources familiar with the conversations between Obama and Biden. I believe he thinks he's the only one who can beat Trump. I don't think he thinks there's anyone in the Democratic Party who can beat Trump, and that's the biggest factor, the source familiar with the Obama-Biden talks said. So this is very fascinating, because if even behind closed doors with Obama, when they're just kind of chatting, he's saying, yeah, I need to run, I'm the only one who can beat Trump, that's a pretty solid indication that he's legitimately wanting to run. Whereas if you say in public, I'm planning on running for re-election, that could be just you trying to still stay strong and have the American people think that you intend on leading as long as possible. But if you're just kind of talking to your mentor or friend or whatever in Obama, and you also have that sentiment, you're serious about it. So my first reaction on that is a bit of surprise. He's 79 right now, and if he ran again, he would be 82. Not that you can't be old and still sharp, but we are seeing with Biden a little bit of a slowing down, and it feels like his communication skills are kind of getting worse in his older age. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, Biden doesn't know where he is. No, he's just kind of having a normal slowdown in his ability to be sharp and quick and articulate. And I think you give that a couple more years, and then you're planning on, if you win, being in office for 4 more years after that. That seems pretty tough. But the reason that he cites is he feels like he's the only person, if Trump ends up running in 2024, who could beat Trump in a rematch. And I've seen some people on the left kind of, oh, that's so stupid that he would think that. Oh. Guys, we have to be honest. I know we want to believe that every single person loves Bernie and wishes that he was president, but somehow he lost. That's just not the case. And a lot of voters will see Biden as the best person to run against Trump. He's an incumbent president that gives you a lot of points. He has all this name recognition. Obviously, he's the president. And there just isn't other people in the party right now that are rising up as future, huge, progressive, young leaders. And so while I agree Biden's not the best person to run in 2024, we have to be able to find somebody better. From the view of a lot of people, and even myself when I ponder, like, who would that person be? It's a pretty thin field. And so I think the safest option in a lot of people's minds is, let's go with the guy who's already president. Even though, yes, he's unpopular right now, and yes, he's very old, and all of those things. That's not to say that we shouldn't keep hoping that someone will rise up who's more progressive, and then in the meantime, keep criticizing Biden on him not following through on his campaign promises. For example, keep pushing him on student debt. But I don't like people pretending, even though Biden's not our ideal candidate, like it's completely insane to think, maybe the incumbent president, regardless of the dings against him, is a better political chance than some miracle within 2 years a new star rises up who's progressive and young. And I mean, who is that person? Like, we would need that person to be in the political arena right now, or to pull off some political miracle in coming to prominence and being able to beat someone as prominent as Trump. But with this report has come a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's thinking this, because he is so unpopular. So let's look at his current polling. As of now, according to 538, he is at a 42.3% approval and 51.9% disapproval. So that's definitely not great. You don't want to be more disapproved than approved, obviously. And that has come down significantly from where he started. We've talked about plenty why that is: inflation, his lack of action on a number of different issues, things like gas prices, and then all these culture war issues that the right is stirring up. So for him, I think a lot of this disapproval is coming from, on one end, the right is really effectively, but I think pretty dishonestly, characterizing him as at fault for all these things that are going wrong in the country and all these weird cultural war issues that they're bringing up. But then on the other side, his progressive base is annoyed with him because he has not fought very hard for his domestic agenda, and he hasn't followed through on a lot of his domestic policy promises. So you're definitely going to be pretty unpopular whenever your base is upset with you and the opposition is very hard against you. But notably, he's not as unpopular as Trump was at the same time in his presidency. So looking at this next graphic that compares Obama to Trump to Biden, Obama at this 15-month mark in his presidency was at 49% approval. Biden is at 42%. And Trump was at 39%. The primary reasons I bring this up is, one, people are acting like he's historically unpopular. No one's ever been this unpopular. Okay, Trump was more unpopular at the same time in his presidency. But the second reason is, I think if COVID didn't happen, Trump probably could have won re-election. So what does that mean? I think at 39% approval rating, he could have still, over the course of those 2 years, built that up a little bit and then been able to win re-election. So if I think that's possible with 39% in Trump's case, I do think it's still a possibility that Biden could win re-election, even though right now he's not doing great in the approval rating department. The fear is, though, is if in the midterms, Republicans take the House or Senate, then all legislative actions are halted until 2024 for Biden. And that's going to make it very difficult for him to accomplish things that will make him more popular. Someone aptly pointed out, though, that I was watching, that Bill Clinton and Obama had huge losses in their midterms, pretty much halting their legislative agenda, but still won re-election. So I don't think it's inevitable, even though head-to-head matchups right now between Trump and Biden in polling don't look great, that Biden could raise his approval rating, get more popular, and be able to beat Trump again. But it's definitely not an ideal option. I guess to sum up my views on this, if the Democratic Party was smart and effective, then it would be clear as day Biden should not be running for re-election, and we should prepare someone else to run in his place. But knowing the Democratic Party, they are so unorganized and so ineffective that I'm kind of sitting here like, okay, I guess the best option is we just throw Biden out again. Because if the Democratic Party was smart, this is what they would have done on day one. Brought in a bunch of powerful Democrats and said, listen, let's get to work on 2024. We think Biden is not going to be able to run for re-election, age, whatever. A number of different factors. We don't think he should run. So we are going to be structuring Biden's presidency around, number one, accomplishing things so people feel positively about the Democratic Party in general, and then centering a different political figure in a lot of those accomplishments, working with Biden and things like that, and artificially causing them to be a rising star and a new Democratic leader who will take that mantle. Because clearly, Kamala, we see you in the room and you think you're going to be it, but you're not. No one likes you. I'm just kidding. I mean, she does have really bad polling, so she should not run in his place. But I actually liked her at the beginning of her presidential race, and then it just kind of went down from there. So then they could have taken someone like, I'll just say Jon Ossoff for now, and centered a bunch of Democratic actions around him so that he was in the center of all this media coverage and all his accomplishments. And then when the time comes, Biden announces, I'm not running for re-election. Jon Ossoff, does his little presidential run, and we have this new young rising star. I don't know if Jon Ossoff is the perfect person. He is like super young and super new to the Senate, but that's just an example. So then they say, you're going to be the person who's the co-sponsor in the Senate of all these bills. You come out in the media, you're the Biden surrogate advocating for why this bill should be passed in the Senate. Make them the primary author of the bill, and then you got to get the bills darn passed. And then when Biden steps down, he has these accomplishments. Ossoff, in this example, says, I was Biden's biggest fighter. I'm the reason that he was able to pass those things in the Senate. So I want to continue that legacy forward. If the Democrats were smart, they would do something like that. But they didn't think that, no one's going to offend Biden by saying someone else should run. So here we are. So there we go. Looks like Biden is actually planning on running in 2024. That's going to put us in a very bizarre situation where we have to go through a Trump-Biden matchup once again, but it's going to be much more tough because Trump won't have the burden of COVID on him. But we will see when the time comes. Here's what else you need to know today. Joe Biden said that Putin will never succeed in his invasion amidst the US sending even more aid to Ukraine. Obviously, I hope that is the case. A report came out revealing that Senator Bernie Sanders has not ruled out running for president for a third time if Biden decides not to run. Bernard just won't stop, ladies and gentlemen. Florida has revoked Disney's special tax status in a response to them clashing over Disney's support of the LGBTQ community. And finally, a report has come out explaining that Mitch McConnell was even more against Trump after January 6th than he let on publicly, saying, referring to impeachment, quote, "The Democrats are going to take care of that son of a female dog for us," and also, quote, "If this isn't impeachable, I don't know what is." But then, if you remember, he voted not to convict Trump in the impeachment trial. Mitch, I think you're also a son of a female dog. Be well, everybody.